The cabin in the woods, it was supposed to be a peaceful getaway. That's how I convinced myself when I first decided to rent the cabin deep in the woods. No distractions, no noise, just me, the trees, and the sky. I had needed the break. Life had gotten overwhelming, and I thought, what better way to reset than to get away from everything? I found the cabin online, a small place off the beaten path, nestled in the deep woods where no one would bother me. The pictures looked serene: wooden walls, a stone fireplace, and a porch overlooking a small creek. It seemed like the perfect spot for some solitude. The journey there was long. The road slowly turned from paved to gravel, and the trees got thicker, taller. I drove for hours, past abandoned farmhouses and empty fields. My phone lost signal somewhere around the halfway point, which only made the idea of isolation more real. As I approached the cabin, I saw it, a small, humble building with a roof covered in moss. It looked old, but not in a neglected way. It felt like it had been waiting for me, as if time had stopped here. I parked my car, grabbed my bags, and walked toward the front door. The air was thick with the smell of pine and damp earth. The sound of my footsteps on the gravel seemed oddly loud in the quiet. The key was under the doormat, just like the email had said. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The interior was exactly as I expected. Wood panels covered the walls, and the smell of pine mingled with something slightly musty, a reminder of how long it had been since someone had last stayed here. The fireplace was big, made of stone, and there was a comfortable-looking couch by it. I smiled to myself, feeling a sense of relief. It was just me in this place. No one else. I dropped my bags in the living room, taking a moment to look around. The cabin was simple but charming. A few old rugs on the hardwood floors, a rustic kitchen to the side, and a small staircase leading to the bedroom above. It felt like something out of a book, something I could imagine characters in a story enjoying: quiet, remote, and beautiful. I unpacked, settled in, and immediately made myself at home. The first night passed in a haze of relaxation. I cooked a simple dinner, sat by the fire, read a bit, then went to bed early. The bed was old but comfortable, and as I drifted off to sleep, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in months. But the second night was different. I woke up in the middle of the night, the darkness absolute. The kind that presses on your chest and makes your breath feel shallow. I rolled over and checked the clock. It was 3:15 a.m. The wind had picked up outside, howling through the trees, shaking the walls of the cabin. For a moment, I thought I heard something else, a thud, faint but distinct. My first instinct was to brush it off as the wind or maybe a branch hitting the roof. I closed my eyes again, but the thud came again, this time louder, followed by the unmistakable sound of something scraping against the side of the house. I sat up, my heart thudding in my chest. My mind raced through a dozen possible explanations: maybe an animal, maybe a tree branch scraping against the wood. But something about the sound didn't sit right. It was too deliberate, too consistent. I lay there for a few minutes, straining my ears to catch any other noises. The wind howled, but the scraping had stopped. I convinced myself it was nothing and tried to fall back asleep, but my mind wouldn't let me. Something was off. By morning, I had convinced myself it had just been the wind. I was in the middle of nowhere. After all, a place this isolated could make your mind play tricks on you. I had an entire day ahead to explore, so I put the strange noise out of my mind. I spent most of the day outside, walking along the creek, exploring the dense forest surrounding the cabin. There were no other cabins nearby, just miles of thick woods. I'd seen the occasional animal, squirrels, a deer off in the distance, but there were no signs of